Why you should pause shopping on Amazon. How to make budgeting fun. And why you shouldn't take investment advice from CNBC. Such questions will be answered here in this video book summary of the book, The One-Page Financial Plan by Carl Richards. You require a financial strategy that is customized to your needs and way of life. Making your own personal financial plan may seem intimidating or monotonous, but as these examples will demonstrate, it can actually be a lot of fun and relieve tension. And you'll find it simple to stick with the program and make even more changes, once you realize that a few small modifications will free up money to do the things that you actually value. Key Principle 1. You must first determine why money is essential to you. Every great financial strategy is built on the response to a single, straightforward question: why is money so essential to me? Before continuing, give this question some thought, and then jot down your response at the top of a piece of paper. Later, you'll require it. Asking yourself why money is important to you might help you identify your values and create a financial strategy that works for you. Consider the most recent time you saw the doctor as an illustration. Not every patient receives the same medication from your doctor. To choose the best course of action, they must first determine what is wrong. Likewise with financial plans. Examining your financial condition will be made easier if you are aware of why you value money. You can then create a treatment that will be effective for you. A person who wants to save money for travel and another who wants a guaranteed pension are likely to have very different financial goals. One may wish to invest in an RV, whereas the other may choose to put money into a solid pension fund. Key Principle 2. Assume your objectives and make adjustments to achieve them. If you could go back 20 years, would you have ever guessed that free apps like Skype or WhatsApp would result in a sharp decline in your phone bills? Future events are uncertain. Your financial strategy and the objectives that underpin it should be adaptable enough to deal with this uncertainty. Accepting that it's not always feasible to anticipate the future is the first step in setting goals. Financial preparation is comparable to vacation planning. You should leave some room for the unexpected even if you have goals, such as places to see or things to do. For instance, if it's raining outside, you can't go biking and have a picnic. Why not change your mind and go to a museum? The same is true of financial planning. Be prepared to change your goals if necessary because they aren't set in stone. Consider that you want to pay off your $40,000 student loan in 3 years as one of your objectives. A sudden financial catastrophe prevents you from saving as much as you had hoped to. You could modify and decide to settle on paying off $28,000 in the same period of time, instead of adhering to your original plan. It's time to start setting goals once you've accepted that there is no way to foretell the future. But what ought to be your objectives? Imagine if you had said, money is important because it would help me offer my kids the finest opportunity and keep them safe, in response to the why question. Your objectives could include things like: I aim to have saved enough money in 2 years to co-finance my son's education. I want to set up some emergency savings so I can send my daughter on a 3-month international exchange program next year, in case my kids don't get jobs directly after graduation. Whatever your objectives, keep in mind that you can always modify them as your circumstances change. Key Principle 3. Create a straightforward balance sheet to evaluate your financial status at the moment. Whatever level of financial success you desire, your values and goals should act as your compass. However, you must first comprehend your current circumstance before you can genuinely decide where to take action. It will be easier for you to take the necessary actions to accomplish your goals, if you have a clear grasp of your assets and obligations. But suppose that you are unaware of or unwilling to learn about your precise financial status. How could you possibly know what steps to take to achieve where you want to go without this information? Create a basic balance sheet to determine your financial condition at the moment. On a sheet of paper, make a T-shape and place your assets, such as your savings and investments, on the left and your obligations, such as your mortgage and debts, on the right. To calculate your net worth, simply deduct your liabilities from your assets. That should go above the T. You'll have a clear understanding of where you stand and be able to choose your initial moves once everything has been laid out on the table. Make a strategy to pay off your student loans, for instance, if you discover that you owe $5,000 in debt. Understanding your financial condition can reduce your financial concern and enable you to take action, in addition to being useful for deciding future moves. Think about delaying calling your creditors for weeks since you can't afford to pay your mortgage. However, once you do call them, you find out how much you owe, and are able to come up with a sensible strategy for how to proceed. Or you might discover that while barely using your car, you still owe a sizable sum of money on it. You might get a little bit closer to debt independence by selling it. Now that you know the fundamentals of creating a financial plan, read on for some helpful advice on how to spend and save money wisely, so you can have extra cash to make wise investments and reach your goals. If you are liking the content of this video, please feel free to buy the book, or get a free month of Audible. Both links are given in the description below. This will help our channel grow. Thank you. Key Principle 4. Make a budget and keep track of your spending. Budgeting essentially involves examining your spending habits and making changes as necessary to meet your financial objectives. Understanding where you're spending and if it aligns with your goals and values is essential for effective budgeting. Many of us believe that creating a budget and keeping track of costs is tiresome and uninteresting, and that it is more of a punishment for people who lack discipline than a tool for the wealthy. Financial success is actually only really attainable if you budget effectively, keep track of your spending, compare it to your goals and ideals, and make adjustments as necessary. For instance, it will be challenging to pay for your vacation to Vietnam if one of your goals is to travel more but you spend 30% of your income on drinking and fancy dining. To make your goal come true, you will need to make certain adjustments. Make a list of your fixed monthly expenses to start, then search for areas where you may reduce or move spending. Consider approaching it as a game or a challenge. Make an attempt to cut back on your spending. Bike to work instead of taking public transportation. Pack sandwiches for lunch rather than going out to eat. Take a stroll through your neighborhood, instead of going to the movies to find locations you've never noticed before. Add up the number of successful days every 2 months. Try to do as few transactions as you can in a week as a different test. You can even compete against your spouse or lover if you have one. These challenges are enjoyable, but they also assist you in realigning your spending patterns and in determining which purchases are necessary and which ones are unnecessary. Key Concept 5. Save as much as you can, and think of debt repayment as an investment. Contrary to common belief, rules of thumb like saving a certain amount of your salary each month won't help you all that much, when it comes to reaching your financial objectives. Your savings strategy should be as unique as your financial strategy. Your ultimate goal should be to save as much money as you can, which will vary depending on your personal circumstances. Once you've calculated how much you can save, automating the procedure will greatly simplify your life. Suppose you had $300 to spare each month. You can spend less time debating whether to spend or save by automating the transaction. Eventually, you might stop thinking about it altogether and be happily delighted to see that your funds have increased years later. You should pay off your debts in addition to saving money, starting with the one with the highest interest rate. In a sense, paying off debt is an investment in your future finances. If you use your credit card to make purchases that don't support your goals, you're ensuring that you'll be spending future money on interest payments rather than setting money up for your goals. You are essentially saying no to your ambitions and yes to anything else. You might want to change your aims if this something else is genuinely crucial. Now that you've figured out where your money comes from, how you spend it, and how to pay off your debts, you have a strategy. The last glance will focus on the ultimate action in your financial strategy, investments. Key Principle 6. Like a scientist, Diversify your investments when making them. There are several companies, projects, and organizations that, in exchange for your money, guarantee a return on investment. What should you do to decide where to invest? Should you heed the counsel of your loved ones, friends, or the stern-sounding financial experts on CNBC? You could, but you would then be speculating instead of investing, choosing your investments based on emotion rather than logic. You must approach investing as a science if you want to make the best decisions. Consulting scholarly journals and other peer-reviewed literature about investing is a fantastic approach to staying away from risk and financial blunders. Long before specialists began studying investments, people have been striving to make their money grow. So, it's difficult to predict a stock's future performance, and you won't be able to do it on the basis of intuition alone. Consider your research as that of a scientist before you make any investments. Otherwise, you risk making choices that you'll come to regret. Along with approaching investing as a science, it's crucial to reduce risk by diversifying your portfolio, or distributing your money over a variety of stocks. There isn't going to be a single stock that will make you rich, and even if there were, you shouldn't count on finding it. When Facebook initially went public, how many of us could have imagined it would grow to be so popular? How many of us were able to foresee the 2008 financial crisis? Spread your risk over as many industries as you can, rather than trying to identify that magic stock. Some of them might depreciate, but others might gain value, helping to offset any possible losses. Your portfolio should be rather diverse, with both domestic and foreign businesses, large and small, operating in a wide range of industries. In this manner, your chances of making a profit and accomplishing your financial objectives are greatest. Final thoughts. Making goals that represent your answer to the question of why money is important to you is the first step in creating a financial strategy. The next step is to evaluate your spending, savings, and investment activities and make the necessary corrections to put yourself on pace to reach your objectives. Discuss money matters with your partner. It's crucial for your spouse or partner to take part in financial planning if you have joint finances. This will help you determine which of your values are compatible and which ones don't. The two of you can then work together to create a financial future where everyone benefits. Please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel for more such video book summaries. Thank you.